ahead and give you a rundown on what you're about to watch, because today's video comes in two different parts. So first off, if you're new here, I'm Cheri. I'm a social media strategist, coach, video content creator. And if you are not new around here, thank you so much for coming back. I always love it when y'all come back. It means so much. And especially when you come back and subscribe. I just love it. So like I said, in today's video, there's two separate parts. The very first part of this video is a video lesson that I got the honor of recording. I did it for a friend of mine, and y'all will hear me talk more about her in the actual video itself. And then the second part of this video is me taking you behind the scenes of what a content shoot actually looks like with remote clients. So the video lesson that I put together is going over how I create content for remote clients. And then the second part of the video is pretty much just taking you behind the scenes and showing you a little bit on how I do it, but it's vlog style. I have got to get better with documenting videos in the moment while I'm working with clients, but for YouTube, okay? I have it down packed. Like the stories and the Snapchats and all that, I have that down packed, but I have got to get better at documenting for YouTube. That is a goal of mine in 2023, because I tell y'all I do some amazing things. I go some pretty cool places, and I want to be able to share it with you. Like, that's what this is all about. So let's go ahead and get into the video. If you like this style of content, I would love to know. Ask any questions in the comment section. Like, subscribe if you want more, and stick around to the end. Let's go. Social media coach and video content creator. And just like you, I am a huge fan of Latasha James, as I myself am a former student of the Social Media Manager Accelerator. So kudos to you and congratulations. With the help of Latasha James and many long nights of research, today I can successfully say I have helped over 100 small and medium-sized business owners increase sales using creative social media marketing strategies. And this is something that I'm pretty sure we can all agree on. There's always a new challenge. There's always something to learn in the world of social media management / social media marketing. So either way, no matter if you are a brand new social media manager and you haven't started working with clients yet, or you are an experienced social media manager and you already have your own fleet of clients, this lesson is going to be very helpful for you. So let's go ahead and dive in so you can know what to expect. Today's lesson is all about content creation for clients. A little bit more about me. I'm Cheri. I started with zero following, 0 subscribers, 0 clients. But the beauty of it all is that I am learning something new every day. And that is what keeps me going as a social media manager. So here's a little bit about what you will learn today. We'll talk about content and why it's still important, client camera confidence, that's a big one, building systems, tools, app, and equipment to make the systems work, creating content for remote clients, and then I'll share a little bit of tips that you can kind of take away with you, okay? And I also want you to know that the material in this lesson, it may vary. It may not apply to you. It just really depends on your roles and responsibilities as a social media manager, because we wear a lot of hats. There are a lot of different skills we can bring to the table that make us an asset. So just remember that, okay? So content is still queen. Some of you may say it's king, but for today's lesson, we'll just say content is queen. As a social media manager, in the beginning, you will spend the majority of your time creating content. I'll go ahead and be honest. When I reflect back on my activity and what I actually do as a social media manager, I realize that I spend so much time creating content, which is why I slowly learned these 2 words, and you will learn them too. That is to delegate and to outsource. But you work your way to that. Nobody starts working with an assistant or delegating in the very beginning. You're going to create a lot of content. Now, the types of content that you can create, they don't have to just be limited to the things that you see on social media right now. I would strongly suggest that you tap into your creative zone and try to create content that does not look like the content we see on social media right now. That's what's going to make you unique as a social media manager. That's what will make clients attracted to you, okay? The goal basically here when it comes to creating content for your clients is that you want to create a system that works for you. So each and every time you sign on a new client, it will be a seamless, smooth process. You'll have a workflow. So therefore, the only thing you need to worry about is actually signing on the client. And then you just repeat the same system. Now, in the beginning, especially when you're trying to figure things out, it's not going to be as black and white. Like, I'll just be 100% honest. But like I said, if you just focus on like your process and figure out ways to tighten that up, you will realize as you go forward, which we'll talk about in the next slide after this one, but you'll realize with your systems as you go forward, you're not spending a lot of time trying to create the process while you're signing on clients. So this is a big one. And I wanted to start with this one first, because if your clients are not comfortable on camera, it may not really work. There are some workarounds, but the goal is obviously you want to work towards getting them comfortable on camera. So the first one that's so important, and I feel like a lot of social media managers don't really discuss this, but it's building relationships. It's so important to build relationships with your clients, because let's just face it, nobody is going to want to take direction from a social media manager who they don't have some sort of relationship or rapport with. And again, depending on what type of social media manager you choose to be. For me, for example, I travel for a lot of my clients, so I'm having to create for remote clients, and we'll talk about that later. But nobody wants me to be in their presence and we don't have a relationship, and I'm holding the camera in their face, like telling them to do things that they're just so uncomfortable with. They have to be comfortable with you. So you have to find ways to build relationships. I notice that when my clients trust me and I make them feel comfortable, they say things like, you know, you're a breath of fresh air. I'm happy I can be myself around you. You make me feel so comfortable. And it's because I intentionally make them feel comfortable. I go out of my way to compliment them, even if it's not business related. It could be something that I saw on their social media accounts, like one of their personal accounts, or maybe I just noticed that their hair looks extra pretty today, or they're smiling more than the usual. All of those little things, you know, you compliment people on those and it makes them feel comfortable. If you have problems with getting your clients to show up on camera and things like that, just try strengthening the relationship. It's a very simple fix, but just give it a try and find out what makes them shy and or nervous. There is a reason why. I'll give you guys an example. I just had a client and she told me she was bullied in high school. I mean, y'all, she really started crying. But she told me, I'm not laughing, but you get what I'm saying. She told me she was bullied in high school. And that is the reason why it's hard for her to just show up on camera, because she really feels as though those same kids who bullied her in high school or middle school are still watching her and kind of bullying her today. And that really just messed with her. And for that, she was not able to confidently show up on camera. So get down to the reason why. And again, this just kind of goes back to building a relationship. Pretty much everything that I say is going to go back to building a relationship. Don't be afraid to provide constructive criticism. That's your job. You're the expert. You're going to notice some things that they may not do well in the beginning, but don't be afraid to address it. It is all in how you say things, right? You don't have to pick and make them feel bad or even worse about themselves, but you can just say, hey, you know, you could do this better, or try this next time. Never tell your clients what they shouldn't do without providing what they should do. Okay, so that's just kind of a little tidbit for you. Providing alternatives for showing up on camera. This is perfect. So for my client who did not want to show up on camera because she was worried about the bullies from back in high school, what I suggested that she do was record a voiceover. Voiceovers are so easy to make. Now, when I'm explaining a voiceover to my clients, most of them are looking at me like I have 10 heads and they don't know what I'm talking about. But once they see I put the video together, they're like, oh, voiceovers, we love voiceovers. So if that's something that they want to do and they're more comfortable with in the beginning, yes, allow them to do voiceovers. But but in the end, you kind of want to continue to stress the importance of a human showing up on camera. Okay. And again, this is my philosophy. So when I'm working with clients, I try to encourage them to do the things that I know, just works. So to each his own, but always compliment their progress. Again, this just kind of goes back and it's very complimentary to the other ones. If you notice that maybe they stuttered a lot when they first got on camera, or they were lost for words, and now when they're on camera, they're like a pro, compliment that. Maybe it took them a long time to record a 7-second video, and now it's not taking them a long time to record that video. Again, compliment the progress. In order to get your clients comfortable on camera, in short, you have to build a relationship. Okay, that is so important. Now let's talk about systems. This is definitely one of those ones that a lot of social media managers shy away from, because it's easier for us to just do everything in like Google Document or Google Excel, right? And to be honest, I still use them both for certain things, but I do know that there are better ways to work as a social media manager. Basically, creating a system and kind of repeating that system. Do it over and over and over and over and over and over. And we talked about this earlier. But a little tip I want to share with you, and I want you to use Google Document. I just told you not to use it, but no, use it for this reason. Create a Google document, Word document, whatever, and I want you to label it change going forward. So each time you encounter something with a new client, because like I say, in the beginning, it's not going to be as black and white. In the beginning, while you are still learning how you want to do it, all the things, you're going to have a lot of gray areas. Okay. So to try to streamline that, I'm not going to say to avoid it, but to try and streamline that as much as you possibly can. Create this document. Every time something happens that you like, oh, I should have did that differently, go put it on that document. And then when you set aside your admin time to work on your various tasks and things like that, pull out this list and go ahead and start making those changes. And then mark off your list and say, okay, I know I made this change, I made this change, especially when it comes to creating content. So collect digital assets in the beginning. You want to do that. I'm sure you're probably like, well, how does this relate to creating content for clients? The reason that it relates is because the information that you collect from your clients up front is really going to help you when you are trying to create content. So for example, a branding guide or a branding kit. You may ask your clients, do you have a branding guide? Do you have a branding kit? And maybe they might say, well, no, we don't have one. Well, that's fine. You don't have to have one, because I have a whole sheet here typed up of questions that I can just pass over to this client and I can get them to fill it out. And if you don't know what a branding kit is, it's basically just like this informational handy dandy notebook, if you want to call it that has information in it about the company's branding, their messaging, their tone, their audience, who they're trying to reach, things like that. So when it comes down to creating content, obviously that's important because you want to know what colors they use. You want to know what types of fonts they use. You want to know what their tone, their voice is. You want to know all of that before you sit down and you start creating content. It is really going to help if you have that information handy. And then being very clear and upfront with your clients. This was something that I didn't do, but for me not doing it, it did cause a lot of back and forth with the clients in the beginning. Well, if you're very clear with them and you're very upfront with them, they know what to expect from you and you know what to expect from them, it really does help when it comes to making sure everything is smooth in the beginning. It won't ever be perfect. But again, if you use these systems and you use them repeatedly and make little tweaks as you go, you'll start to see that there's not so many bumps in the beginning because you're very clear on your mission as a social media manager. You know the types of clients that you want to take on, and then it becomes so seamless. I'm still working to get there myself, by the way. Here are a few tools, apps, and some of the equipment that I use to make all of this work. And like we just talked about, HoneyBook does everything for you. I found out about HoneyBook from Latasha. So I do your own research. There's Dubsado. There's lots of different things out there. But HoneyBook is something I started working with about 2 years ago, and I just kind of kept going with it. ClickUp is a project management system. Calendly, Zoom, Google Calendar, Lightroom, Metricool, Meta Business Suite, CapCut, Canva, AI tools, keyword topic finders. Now, a social media manager's role is to create and publish content that appeals to their client's target audience and builds their brand image. To accomplish this, a social media manager must have the right tools, apps, and equipment. Now, don't skip this part. A lot of this, I will tell you, you just don't know you need it until you need it. Like, I'll just be honest. But save this list and understand that this list is very limited. I'm sure there are many more apps out there that I use, but I didn't want to scare you. I wanted to simplify it as much as I possibly could. Depending on your role as a social media manager, some of these may not apply to you. So just kind of take this with a grain of salt. Amazon, however, I don't care what type of social media manager you are, Amazon will be your best friend. So be sure to sign up for their affiliate program or the storefront program, because you're going to use Amazon a lot. Everything off of here, except for my computer and my smartphone, was purchased on Amazon. So again, if you're the type of social media manager that travels to your clients, okay, we'll talk about creating content for remote clients a little later. But if you travel to your clients, like I do, I travel to my clients, some clients once a month, some clients every 6 months if I have to fly. But I have tons of tripods. I have tons of lights. I have tons of SD cards, and I would highly suggest you get a lot of SD cards. And I have an external hard drive. I have microphones, cameras, and computers. Okay, I have it all because I use it all. When I first started, I did not have this. When I first started, I just had maybe a camera and a DIY ring light. But as you grow, you invest back into your business, and you also, you want to appear more professional, because then that's how you will start to attract those higher paying clients. Creating content for remote clients. As you can see in that picture, this is definitely my favorite part. I love, love, love to travel for my clients. I kind of want to make this very simple. When you start to travel to clients, if that's something that you wish to do, communication and collaboration. The more you can communicate and collab in the very beginning, the better this will be, because you'll be able to get more out of it. And to be clear, this is exactly what I mean. Create video scripts. I will spend time and I will create video scripts for my clients. And when I'm there, I'm passing these video scripts out. They are already familiar with me because we've done Zoom calls prior to me showing up to their office or their location. We've done Zoom calls. I've already kind of given them a little insight of the type of content that we'll be creating, so they're not blindsided, okay? So that's what I mean by you have to prepare, you have to collaborate, you have to communicate. All of this needs to be done, because just imagine, and I actually had this happen before. It was my first traveling assignment. I showed up to the doctor's office and her staff told me they didn't even know I was coming. So not only were they not ready to be on camera, but they also were not very familiar with me, because I did not do Zoom calls prior to my arrival. Well, I did with the doctor, but not with the team. Now I do them with the team, because again, the last thing you want is someone to show up at your practice, at your office, with a camera in your face saying, hey, could you please do this silly TikTok video for me, and we don't even know who you are. Like, who are you? Let's start there. So planning 30 days ahead. And use this time to plan, to have your pre-Zoom meets, to learn more about the business and to continue to trade digital assets to make sure when you get there, you are ready to rock and roll. So travel and film content. This is step 2. Travel and film content for the client. Or they may travel to you, or you just may get them to create the content where they are and send it to you. It just really, again, it depends on how you build your business. And I stress that, how you build your business as a social media manager. Now, if they don't travel, there's no traveling involved, you may want to create a shot list. And a shot list will basically just let them know the types of angles you need, or where you want them to shoot from, or how you want them to shoot. What do you want them to say? Like, be very creative with your shot list, and the more detailed you can be, the better. This is something that I don't particularly like doing. I don't really like doing a shot list. I feel like I work better when I can create the content on my own. But again, it all boils down to the type of business you build around your social media management. Step 3 is to organize the content and use folders and use subfolders. If you have to still use Google Drive, I don't recommend it, but use Google Drive. Get a Dropbox. Most important thing is that you have a way to organize this. And again, I just want to give an example. I work with a lot of med spas. With med spas, they have various treatments. There are so many different treatments. So if I'm constantly filming, now I'm stuck with a lot of different procedures and I don't even know what they are. New to the whole filming thing, and you have to film on your own, just find ways to create folders so you can organize this information. So whenever you do go back to edit later, everything will be there in a very organized fashion for you. And then step 4, edit, is to publish and then manage. And again, you may not be the type of social media manager that actually publishes the content. You just kind of got to build your model however you wish. But usually this is kind of how the flow works for me right now. Gratefully, I do have a team that I'm working with. So a lot of what I do here lately is just actually filming. And again, being that the face of my business, so I can continue to strengthen these relationships with my clients. Here are a few takeaways from today. And I just kind of want to go over these very simple tips that can kind of help you just kill it in the social media management space. Give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Do not be so hard on yourself. This is a long learning game. Continue to educate yourself. Organize as much as you possibly can. Can anybody count the amount of times I said organize in this lesson? Organize, organize, organize as much as you possibly can. Utilize AI tools. There are a bunch of them out there today. Copy AI is my favorite. You have Magic Write and Canva, and then you also have Chat GPT. Utilize AI tools. They are not there to take over. They are there to enhance your content creation. Track your insights, track your analytics, and always go back to see which types of content perform the most. This is going to be key to helping you make data-driven decisions to create better content. And lastly, stay in constant communication with your clients. Don't just be present, while it's time to sign them on, but throughout the content creation process, stay in communication with them, because a lot of what we do is invisible, until we post the content, right? So include them, ask them how they feel. Some of them, depending on your relationship, some might text you or email you and say, hey, I really love what you did today. Thank you. Thank you. So staying in constant communication with them, that's really going to help you kill it as a social media manager. Son.